Hello everyone, welcome to the new session for chapter 4 from class 10 geography. Today we are with an interesting topic related to agriculture, that is technological and institutional reforms of agriculture. Here we can look at the various challenges faced by the farmers and what are the reforms done by the government in order to help these farmers. So now we can begin the session technological and institutional reforms of agriculture. Before going to the topic, we can look at what is agriculture and how long it is being practiced in India, how many people have agriculture as their source of livelihood and so on. Agriculture is practiced in India over 1000 years ago. Even in ancient period itself, the people are aware of agriculture and have very good knowledge about it. But they used only primitive tools. Over 60% of population in India depends on agriculture for their livelihood. More than half of the Indian population are dependent on agriculture as their source of livelihood. Then here a question arises. Already more than a half of the population are engaged in agriculture. Then why we are in a need to reform agriculture? These can be known by understanding the challenges faced by the farmers in the workplace. First one is the sustained use of land without compatible techno-institutional changes have hindered the pace of agricultural development. Which means they have land and it is using in a sustained manner for agriculture without the use of any modern techniques. This is a major challenge for agricultural development. Next one is around 75% of farmers still depend upon monsoon and natural fertility of soil rather than irrigation. Even though more than half of the population is engaged in agriculture, around 75% of farmers are depending on monsoon without the use of irrigation facility. We know irrigation facility is a modern technique. Next main challenge faced by the farmers is exploitation by local money lenders and middlemen. For the sale of their harvested crop, there always occurs a middleman who will be benefited largely, and the farmers are struggling to meet the both ends of their life. And the money lenders who provides money for the next season started exploiting the farmers by demanding high interest rate. Fourth one is the lack of insurance coverage against drought, flood, cyclone, fire, disease, etc. Farmers are not sure about whether they are able to harvest crop or not. During the growing season, there is a chance of destruction of crop, so farmers should be protected by insurance coverage. Fifth one is the low productivity. Since they are using primitive method of farming, which leads to very low productivity. Next one is fragmentation of land holding. Due to right of inheritance, fragmentation of land occurs, and this prevents the use of big machineries and equipments on small plots. Next, we can have a look at the technological and institutional reforms in agriculture. What are the reforms take place in agricultural sector? First one is the abolition of intermediaries, that is zamindari system or middleman system is abolished. Second one is the consolidation of holdings. Land consolidation is a planned readjustment and rearrangement of land parcels and their ownership, which means smaller lands are readjusted and made into a bigger plot. It has an important role in the development of rural infrastructure and helps in improving environment sustainability and agricultural development. Next, collectivization and cooperation. consolidate individual land and labor into a collective form. The most important point is the land reform. It is included in the first 5-year plan after independence. It has social objective as well as economic objective. Social objective is giving land for landless. Right of inheritance already led division of properties. But some of them who are still landless are given land. You may aware of Bhudan and Gramdan initiative, which was initiated by Vinod Bhave, and it is also known as bloodless revolution, which leads to the voluntary giving of land by the owners to landless. Economic objective is to increase production. Giving a piece of land to landless labor means the person is having a new source of livelihood, and this will lead to increased production. Next one is the introduction of provision for crop insurance against natural calamities. The challenges faced by the farmers without insurance coverage is already discussed in the previous slide. Then loan facilities to farmers at lower interest rate through Grameen Bank, Cooperative Bank and other bank. Loans are provided for the farmers so that they are free from the exploitation of money lenders. Then Kisan Credit Card, Personal Accident Insurance Scheme are implemented. Then Green Revolution lead to packed technology, high yielding variety seeds, then use of insecticides, pesticides and fertilizers. These all factors lead to the increased production. The use of insecticides, pesticides, HYV seeds all leads to increased productivity in a fixed land. Modern equipments are used such as irrigation facility and the use of machineries for plowing, sowing, harvesting and so on. The government also provided the weather bulletin and agricultural program in TV and radio for providing knowledge and awareness among farmers. Weather bulletin helps the farmers to take necessary precaution to prevent any destruction of crop. Then minimum support price, remunerative and procurement price for important crops are introduced. The MSP is introduced by the government in a situation where the farmers were not able to find a market. Then the government itself procured the crop at minimum support price. Minimum support price is not introduced for all the crops. Only 22 crops are included under MSP. Certain important crops come under MSP are paddy, jowar, maize, arhar, moong, soyabean, etc. But for sugarcane it is FSP, that is FRP, that is fair and remunerative price. These are all about the technological and institutional reforms of agriculture. From all these discussion, we can conclude that agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy. Then modernization and reforms in agricultural practice lead to increase in GDP of national economy. Because more than half of the people are engaged in agriculture, so definitely it will contribute to the GDP of national economy. So when agricultural practices are improved by reform, it means it will surely contribute to the increase in GDP. Now farmers became confident enough to start agriculture in their land. They are now more protected and secured by giving more insurance coverage, other welfare schemes and government support. So here comes to an end of the session. I hope everyone is clear about the topic. That's it. Thank you for watching. Wish you all the very best. Thank you.